catch 'em all.
Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back. Part 3 of Flippity Flap. Hopefully we can finish this one in this video, but we'll see. I don't know how much time I have to shoot. Alright, so let's go for it, okay? First thing I want you to do is, hopefully you should have finished your pipes from the last one. I did 4 of them all together. What you want to do is you want to click on your bird, and we're going to want to go to Appearance, and change. You can hit Show Collider if you want. Oops, I'm not on the bird. There we go. You can hit Show Collider, and that's going to show the collision of the bird. We really want to change that to Polygon, because that's going to track just the outline of the bird itself. Okay, so that means that when he hits the tube, it's not going to be like, oh, it didn't really look like it hit, you know, and now it's like a game over, but it'll be like pristine. It'll be perfect, all right? Because most of these already have, let's see, let's go back in there. Show. They have box colliders too, so they're perfect, okay? All right, so let's active, yes. All right, so here we go. Let's see, let's look at our code. We have bird movement's done. Okay, to start the game, you click on the button, all the tubes move to the left. The bird, his gravity sets yes. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do text. So let's go into our adding of things. Let's go to interface and text, and let's do text box, and just drag that up here. That text is going to be solid off. It's going to be on the UI layer. It's going to say, let's say game over. Now you need to decide if you want this game to be winnable or not. If you want it to be winnable, then at the very end through your pipes, you'll have some kind of collision back there, you know, like when bird touches box, you know, text comes forward and says you win, and that would mean like if you get through all 4, you win. Mine is not going to be like that. Mine is just going to be like a high score, like see how far you can go. Oh, I got 10, I got 15, I got 20, whatever it is. But obviously in this certain scenario right in front of you, your high score can only be 4 because I only did 4. Okay? Alright, so that says game over. We're going to leave that text. Oh, game overs. We're going to leave that text, but we are going to change the size. Let's go 10 by 10. Let's tint it. Let's see, where's our tint? Let's go with red and red, okay? And then we're going to put that up here. And then I want to move my start button. My start button, let's see where we have that right now. If we put that at 0, 0, I want to see what that looks like. So this is the position 1, where it is on the screen. 0, 0, okay? Now, the only problem with it being there is that the tap button is there as well, at the same exact position. So right now, if we were to hit play, if we try to hit play, see how this is so finicky, it keeps happening. When I hit this, the bird is going to start moving. It's thinking that I'm trying to tap the screen. So what I want to do is I want to go on my screen here, my tap screen, and I want to go to Appearance, and I want to see how high up that goes. The y-axis goes to a negative 0.75, okay? So what I'm going to do with this, with the start button, if I can select on that. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Appearance, I'm going to move that up on the Y. Let's move it up 0.5 and see where it goes. And then let's zoom out. I want to see again where that tap screen is, so go to Appearance, change the opacity up a little bit, and you can see that they're not in the same position now, so that works out well. Okay, so we got the start button in the correct place. Now I want to see where the game over is going to go when it moves into the game and it goes to 0, 0. I want to see what that looks like. So that's fine. Okay, I'm okay with that. So let's move that back now. We're gonna have that move to 0, 0 in our code. It's not gonna start there, obviously. All right. Let's see if I can get on this text here. There we go. Let's move that back out. Okay. We need another text box. We're gonna have the game say, "Welcome to Flippity Flap." So you can call that welcome text. let's call this one, oh sorry, that one, I was on the wrong one anyway, so that's game over text. Come on, click off. Okay. Come on, click on. That's odd that, man, it's being that odd. It's not usually this bad, I'm not really sure. Appearance, okay, so this one is going to say, welcome to Flippity Flap. And let's see, the position of that is going to be a 0 on the X, and it's going to be like a 2 or a 1. Where did that text go? Oh, not 10. 1. And then let's move the text size of that up. Let's make it 10. Nope, that's too big. Let's make it 5 and 5. And let's tint that color. By the way, that's not going to be a solid. That's going to be on the user interface layer. And the tint can be, I think I did orange in my game. So this is FF9100. You can do a Control C to copy it. And then down here you can do Control V for paste. So we get our orange text. And I don't really like where that is, so we're going to have to move that. So let's see, I think it just jumped to somewhere else. So let's go back in here. Yeah, you can see that I want 0 on the X, and I want to do 0.5, 0.5. Now see, that's right behind the start button, which we don't want. So let's make that 1, and now it's above. Okay, so when we start our game, we see welcome to Flippity Flap. Okay, so in start game now, when the start button is touched, the tubes move to the left, the bird has gravity on them, and the Flippity Flap text, which I don't know, it's text box 2 right now, so let's go back out and name that real quick. Welcome text. It's nice to keep things organized, okay? Now, here's the other thing. When you go in here and you see, I click on something and you see all these tube, you don't have to see those things if you don't want to. If they're clogging up your stuff there and it's just kind of annoying, what you do in Appearance is you just go Show in Event Manager. You would turn that off, and then you wouldn't see that. All right, so that keeps it even more clean. That's up to you. You know, I'm not going to do it right now because we don't have to add anything else. All right, but when you have a really big extreme game that has a lot of different moving pieces, you're definitely going to want to do that. Okay. All right, so back into Start. When the Start button is pressed, what else do I want it to do? I want the welcome text to position, set manual, and I'm just going to put some random number like 10 by 10, you know, 10x, 10y, and that'll just throw it off screen. Okay, so now when I hit the start button, boom, that text disappears. All right, so that's what we want. Now, I also need the start game to go away, so that's going to do the same thing. So add another one. What else will it do? The start button position will set position, set manual to, let's just do like 1111. So that's just going to throw it out, right? All right, so let's see if that happens. Hit play, I hit start, and it goes away. Good. Let's see, what else do we want on the start? So, nope, not game over. Whoops. Start. Bird. Start game. Moves to 1010. Game over text. Set position to 1111. That shouldn't be there. Twos are moving. Score. Okay, so we need a score label. And then we'll do our lines eventually. All right, but we're not ready for those yet. So hit add. Go to interface and text. We need a button. I'm sorry, we need a label. And we're going to do a score label. Bring that in. Click on that. Appearance. Make that 0. Sorry. Yeah, make that 10 and 10. Okay. Solid off. User interface scene. Not on the scene layer, but user interface layer. Let's tint that color. We're going to make it, I'm just going to make mine white. And everything else is good. Okay, so what I'll do with that is I'll put that in the top right corner. It won't bump into anything because I have it not as a solid. So now when you start game, why does that need to be in start game? Why would it be hidden in the first place? I'm not quite sure, so I don't think we need that, what I have in my notes here. So I'm going to leave that, let it ride. Okay, so let's start game over now. So game over is going to be a couple different scenarios. If the bird senses a collision with the ground, then game over text, position, set manual, and we want to put that to 0, 0. And let's see what that looks like. Alright, so hit done, hit play. I'm going to just let him hit the ground. Boom, game over. Perfect. Okay. When the bird, so let's put an add here. Now, this, you do not want to leave this as when the bird touches the ground and he touches something else. You want it to be or. So when the bird senses a collision with the top, then same thing, game over. When, and then another one here. When the bird, or when the bird senses a collision with any one of the tubes, so we needed to say tubes class, then it's game over. Okay, so let's try this here. If he hits the ceiling, okay, so he should have been a game over up there, which means that this, I actually don't know why that is, so hold on. So he's not able to go that high, and I wonder if it's because of his physics. Let's go into physics, and let's turn behavior. Oh, let's go to behavior, and let's turn this padding down. It's not allowing him to go up high enough. Boom, game over. Okay. Now I also want to see what it looks like when he hits the ground now. That's fine. Okay. So he's hitting both, and the game is over. Now let's hit a tube, which I think already happened, but we'll see anyways. Alright, game over. Now, when the game is over, we're going to want all these things to stop. Alright? So, in the game over one, we said, hey, if he touches this, if he touches that, if he touches that, it's a game over. And the tubes, let's say, let's say tubes class, bullet movement, set active, no. So now when I hit a tube, everything should stop moving, which is good. Game over. And then now I can still move the bird, so I don't want to be able to do that either. So what else do we want to do? We add and the bird, let's say his, let's think, what do we do for this? So we want to be in game over. All tubes set active no. Game over text goes to front. Restart game. I don't think I figured anything out for this yet. I didn't have it down. Start game, score. So let's see what we can do about this. When the bird senses a collision, the bird, we want to not be able to click and move him, so we're gonna, or can we just make it so the tap button appearance set hidden yes. Okay, so we're putting our tap button away. So let's say boom, game over, and now I can't click and do anything because the tap button is gone, so the game is over. Okay, so that's good. Alright, take your, what does that start button look like? Is that big enough? Yeah, that's pretty good. Take your start button, make a copy, okay? Let's drag that to where we think we want it. Actually, that's going to be right in the same position, so let's just trash that for a second. Make a copy, we're going to leave it where it is. This one is going to be the exact same colors. It's just going to say restart game. And let's see, collider active, show in manager, user interface, not solid. I think that's fine. So we don't want this to pop up right away, which means that we're going to want it to be hidden, right? So now when we go in here, we're going to have, whoa, see this happens. I had this one and now it just copied two other ones. That happens all the time and I don't know why. So you just erase them. Restart game. By the way, at the end of the game over now, we need the restart button, which I didn't name, I don't believe. I always forget to do that. Restart button. Alright, so what else is going to do? The restart button. appearance set hidden yes. No, sorry. Set hidden no. We don't want it to be hidden. So let's say it's a game over. Boom, restart game. Okay. Now that button's not going to do anything yet because we didn't program it yet. So now with the restart game, when restart game button senses a touchdown, we're going to go to System, Restart Scene. Okay, so hit done. Let's try that. Boom, game over, restart game. Okay, start, game over, restart game. That's what we want. Okay, so that's working perfect. So now what do we need to do? We need to start counting up. Okay, so that means that we're going to go and hit the plus. By the way, if you wanted to win, you put you win up here somewhere. You could just copy this one, and you'd have the collision, and you would have a, let's go back in, you would start a whole nother event, and you would say when the bird collides with the box that you have set at the end of the game, the you win text, set position, manual, 0, and then you would also say, and the restart button moves to 1, 0, or whatever, wherever we had the restart button. That way, no, sorry, the restart button appearance set hidden no, and that'll come forward. Okay, so you guys can set it up that way if you'd like. Alright, so for the score, so right now we're going to have to add a line. So go to basic shapes, and let's go with a line. And I'm going to put them like right in the middle of the tubes. I don't want there to be any accident where it, like the back of him hits a tube, but the front hits the line, and you get a point for it. I don't want that at all. So let's see if we can get back on this. Okay, I'm going to change this to, I'm going to leave the opacity right now. The solid is, do we want solid on for that? We want a collision with it, but we probably don't need it to be solid, so let's turn that off. And if it's not working, we'll turn it back on. Opacity stays. Tint, let's just make that black. It's easier to see. And size, we're going to need this to be bigger. We don't want to be able to fly through here or fly through here without hitting that line. Okay, so the line, let's make the height of that 1.5. That's pretty good. Maybe even a little bigger. Let's make it 2. That way there's no accidents. 2. Okay, now this, let's just double check. I want to go on my other one here. We have, yeah, solid off. We have a 2x1. Collider active, nothing else there. Rotation, nothing. Behavior is going to be a bullet movement as well. And then in the coding, restart scene score. Okay, so you're going to want to put a behavior on there. All right, add behavior. It's going to be a bullet behavior because it's going to move with the tubes. So make sure that you're changing your flow direction. I always forget that one too. Change your speed down to 1.05. It's not active because we got to turn it on once the game starts, and then I think everything else is fine there. Okay, so now let's go into here. Let's go into start game again, and we're going to say when we start game, we tubes bullet move. Okay, so we're not ready for this yet. Click on the line, go to classes, create a new class, call it lines or collision lines or whatever. Now that's in the lines class. Everything that I copy now will copy with those things, but I'm going to change the opacity first, then I'm going to copy and move it. And now I'm able to, so we're in the start game, I'm able to say, and I want the lines class, bullet movement, set active yes. Okay, hit done, hit play, see if it moves with it, which it does. Okay, that's perfect. So now touch the line. We're going to go back in and do our opacity, go to appearance. We don't want to be able to see it at all, so go all the way down to 0. It does make it a little bit more challenging when you copy it now because you can't exactly see where the line is. But if you were to leave them all black, sometimes I notice that you can't change the opacity of a copy of something. So the original one, I made the opacity 0, and now every copy will have that as well. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Alright, now let's see what happens if I can click on my first one, which I have no idea where it is now. It should be in here somewhere. There it is. If I change the opacity on this one, yeah, they don't all pop up. Okay, so that's whatever. We'll just see if it works when we're playing. Alright, so into coding again, or programming I should say. We have that moving now. Let's see if it added any funny ones. Start game, game over, restart game. This will be a score. Okay, with the score, when the bird senses a collision with anything from the lines class, the score label, add 1, confirm. Done. Alright, so now, when we start the game, if he hits the ground, game over. If he hits a ceiling, game over. If he hits any part of the green, game over. If he gets through the green and hits a line, we should get 1 point. Let's see if I can get through there. Whoop. Okay, so he got 1. Now that's what I don't want to happen. Why did that count up to 4? That's odd. Add 1 when it touches the line. It should only touch the line 1 time. Oh, game over, but I got 3. Why is that showing a 4 now? Alright, so hold on while I diagnose that. I wonder if I made too many copies. I don't see another line there, so I would say no. What about over here? I don't see one. Where's that line? It's so hard to find stuff when the opacity is down. There it is. Let's put that over here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that I made another copy of it, so that's very strange. Let's watch that again and see why that's happening. If I just hit 1 and then I hit a green, game over. So why is it counting up like that? Stop scene. Let's see. Let's look at our notes here and see what we're missing. So on the game over, all the tubes stop. The game over text comes forward. Oh, I know why. Okay. So, alright, here's what's happening. I said when the game is over, stop moving the tubes. But the problem is I didn't say stop moving the lines. The lines are still moving, so my bird is dead. He's at a stop, and he's got no gravity on or whatever. But those lines are coming and passing by him, and it's going 3, 4, 5, right? So we got to go into that code again for game over. And we got to say, okay, when the bird touches this, when he touches that, when he touches that. Game over text, tube stop moving, tap button appearance at hidden yes, restart button comes up, and the lines class, bullet movement, set active, and it should not be active. So let's see what happens now. 1, 2. Now if I die, that's actually a bad spot to die because the lines wouldn't touch him there. Let's try to land on one of these tubes. It's funny that that thing went flying. There it goes flying again. That's weird. Hold on. Not good at dying. And the score does not go. Okay, so that's perfect. Alright, so that part's done. What else? I don't know. I think we're close. Game over. We got the tube stopping to move from left to right. I think we got score, restart scene. I don't know. I think that's it. All right. Let's play it one more time. What could be missing here? Welcome. Start the game. Hold down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want something out here that says you win. Okay. Okay, so we don't want that. Well, okay, it says game over because we hit the ground. So this is more like an infinite game. You would create so many different tubes. That way, you know, 20 tubes or 10 tubes or whatever it is. That way the game can keep playing, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, this game, you know, for what I'm showing you, this is done. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. This was part number 3 of Flippity Flap. And sorry that I had some down times there. Sometimes you just got to do that with gaming. You got to figure out what's going wrong and try to fix it, all right? So I will see you guys in the next game. I don't know which one it is yet, but this game is over. All right. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Gotta catch 'em all.